Next is Section 7, back at Anchor Point. It's a no battle quest, so this will be another short one. Okay. Hopefully. It might be story logged, which means I need to get a quick drink. Just in case, because my throat is actually starting to hurt. Soul returning to base.
Mesh Chirolite, returning to base. Welcome back, you two. Nice to meet you in person, Avisborn. It's an honor to meet such a distinguished Golem Master. No matter how bad things may get, the artist in me will never stop appreciating fine art.
You are too kind, Leonardo da Vinci. I'm the one who should be honored to meet you. To be told, I'm somewhat embarrassed to be greeted so kindly by such a renowned genius. Now then, I take it you call us here to do more than merely deliver a report.
Yep, I did. Come on, Mesh, you're overdue for a checkup. Oh, right. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I figured as much. Emergency or not, you're still transformed again, didn't you? Normally I'd want to examine you immediately, but of course circumstances aren't exactly ideal here. Alright, off to the exam room with you. Take care of Soul for me, will you, Holmes?
Certainly. Very well, Gordolf. Well, we have the information, Mr. Acquired for us. What say we make our next move? Yes, of course. So what do we do next? Well, to begin, we take down Ivan right here and now.
Okay, you're all done. Doesn't look like anything major is messed up. Your servant spirit origin is still too unstable to rely on, but physically you're totally healthy. Better than healthy, even. Back in Chaldea, your human body and spirit servant origin failed to work together, causing your body to attack itself in form of auto-intoxication. But it looks like that disappeared during our voyage in the void space. I really am a genius, aren't I? My medical care is flawless. Technical advisor Da Vinci. Could I talk to you about something? Oh, this sounds serious. Let me just grab myself a seat here.
Oh?
Right then, what's up? Hopefully it's something I can help you with. Be honest with me, how many more times can I fight as a servant? I know I reached my limit as a demi-servant. But this is all too big for me to just sit on the sidelines and do nothing. I need to be able to fight beside Master again, even if it's unsafe. Da Vinci. I'll forget it. No more cage answers, so no more for keeping secrets. It's really not a question of how many at this point. You're perfectly capable of fighting plenty now. Remember, you awoke the spirit origin that had been dormant in you for the last year. You might not be quite as strong as you once were with the extreme cold and all, but it's not as if fighting isn't causing you a lot of pain, right? And that's because your body is assimilated to being a demi-servant again. At this point, it's actually all just a mental thing. Of course, that's really the biggest challenge of all. Really? But I thought Galahad was gone. They decided I wasn't worthy. Yep, I bet he did, the jerk. I'm pretty annoyed about that myself. It's been a year since that battle at the Temple of Time. After handling your medical care during that whole time, there's only one thing I can say for sure. Galahad isn't helping you anymore. That so-called Holy Knight abandoned his responsibility to you. He might as well written your dear John letter to say that he wasn't going to help you anymore and you'll just have to take care of yourself from now on. So yeah, he's bailed on you and isn't coming back, ever. But then how was I able to transform? Sybil, you and Galahad are different people. He only really allowed you to give form to his power. You were borrowing it from him. And thanks to your experience in battle, you grew into it as your own Knight of the Shield. The person you were when you fused with that heroic spirit and the person you are now are pretty much completely different people at this point. Galahad may be gone, but you are a full-fledged demi-servant in your own right now. Get it? The harm transforming has done to you and the fact that your spirit origin seems weaker, none of that has to do with Galahad. It's all you, your body, your mind. Your weakness is just the state of your body is in, and your inability to transform as completely as you'd like is just a matter of your own mind holding you back. Can you become more specific? Can you be more specific? Does that mean if I can resolve those two problems, I can be useful to everybody again? Well, with Galahad gone, your spirit origin dropped pretty sharply. You've lost more than half your power. It's no wonder you're not as strong as you used to be, so that's a plain old physical problem. It also means you've lost skill, gifts, and protection that came from his legend. From here on, you'll need to develop and hone your own way of fighting. Of course, we can help you with that. We just have to get back to the original plan. The original plan? You mean Project Ortonax.
Ortonax. Is this like Parthenax?
Well, you know about that. Did Romani tell you? Actually, I heard about it from Director Marysbury. He said her spirit would probably reject a servant. So Project Ortonax would make up for any difficulty I might have in functioning properly as a servant. I can't believe you had that much foresight and still didn't think to stop the demi-servant experiments. Just what did he think heroic spirit bodies are, anyways? He should be ashamed of himself for letting them degrade just so he could accomplish his goal. Well, not that I've been overly picky about my own methods. Me standing here talking to you now is proof enough, I suppose. Anywho, your physical strength issue should take care of itself over time. We can talk more about that later. So that leaves the mental aspect, Mash. Right now, you're scared to transform. Your body refuses to make the servant transformation because you're so riddled with doubts. Doubts, am I? Yes, and I don't mean our last conversation about you being a servant could harm you. I see, okay, so you're saying there's a different problem. Yeah, this time you don't really want to fight, of course. That may have been true for all the other times as well. But when we were fighting to save humanity, it was obvious we were doing the right thing. So because of that, you were able to fight in spite of your fear. But that's not true anymore. We aren't facing that kind of threat this time around. You can sense it, and I'm sure Soul can too. And that makes this an even bigger problem than Gala had before, being gone, or the harmful side effects of transformation into a servant. Mash Chirolite, can you fight for what you believe in is right, even against the fellow man, even that enemy hasn't done anything wrong? A very deep philosophical question.
Well, how is that even helpful? All we've learned is that Russia has been overrun by a bunch of beastly barbarians. Good off, they're not beasts, they are Yaga. And that's just what they've decided to call themselves. Not at all if Kabbalah and alchemy may both be magecraft, but they are also quite different. The magecraft base and spells may both differ greatly, but both are part of a system knowledge and mechanics that is collectively known as magecraft. Beastmen and Yaga may appear the same to you, but I assure you they are entirely different. The creatures you refer to Gordolf are werewolves, lycanthropes, and the like. They are demonic beasts who are awakened to their true nature by blood. However, Yaga are a fusion of demonic beast and human. As such, the closest approximation would be combined phantasmals such as chimeras. I see, so your beastmen are different origins, huh? Correct, however their fundamental issues lie elsewhere. Oh? Listen closely, the Yaga formed a country. They have their own culture and their own way of life. And that is in some way different from the singularities you claim to have resolved. Yes, very much so. The singularities we resolved created hypothetical versions of history at different points in time. Think of each as something of a diversion from the main track of history. Chaldea resolved these singularities by reshifting to these points in time and setting history back on its proper course. This is different, though. The divergent point in the history seems to be 450 years ago. Most likely, it occurred at the moment the Great Cold Wave hit and Ivan the Terrible merged with demonic beasts to become a Yaga. This world singularity occurred in the past. It's over. Precisely. In other words, the hypothetical history that this singularity created has continued to persist. Take Paxi's scoped bolt-action hunting rifle, for example. It's very similar to a modern-day gun. But it's still far from cutting-edge technology. I believe it is made with engineering that, from our standpoint, would be half a century out of date. But that sort of firearm was cutting-edge back when it was introduced in Ivan the Terrible's era. Furthermore, this one has a major trait that sets it apart from even our own modern-day weapons. It is specifically designed to kill demonic beasts. Ah yes, I noticed that as well. I have a similar magical gun myself, you see. When he fired the gun, a spell was activated, though a primitive one. I believe that weapon was made with the intention of being used by the Yaga. Most likely it uses magical energy instead of additional gunpowder in it to increase its muzzle velocity, thereby increasing its round's penetrative power. Paxi seems perfectly comfortable with it, as the other Yaga. From that we can deduce that this world is entirely separate from our own. It's followed an entirely different track of history than our own did. As such, it would be inappropriate to call it a singularity. I don't care what you call it. We have a much more important question that needs answering. Will overthrowing Ivan the Terrible actually solve the problem here? Given the nature of our enemy, I do think defeating him would have some effect on this world. Come now, I'm the world's greatest detective. Aren't you supposed to have brilliant flashes of insight or something? I'm afraid that is very little to work with, even in the way of circumstantial evidence besides. But here we go. Now's not the time. Oh, he actually said it. Yep, that's Holmes for you. That's we're not the full extent of the situation, but the problem is essentially complex. After all, we know exactly who our enemy is, a version of Ivan the Terrible who's been ruling Russia for roughly 500 years. That is the single largest point of differentiation between our Russia's history and this one. There can be no doubt that he is the key to this world. For a moment, our interests would be best served by continuing our aid to the rebel army as it is to lead to Ivan the Terrible in due time. So what are you saying is we've got a long road ahead full of twists and turns, damn it. Yeah, there's something else we need to talk about. Indeed, the human mage serving Ivan the Terrible, and the human-looking servant. The latter is most likely the woman we saw at Chaldea. Of course, it could also be Kalyan, or the priest. Just thinking about them gives me the chills. Well, at me and my bank account in Kalyan's case. The most pressing problem is the mage. Anastasia called himself a cryptor. He also said that there were 7 of them, which corresponds to the number of mages from Team A who disappeared from the coffins. It follows then that one of the 7 mages is now serving Ivan the Terrible. Assuming we wish to take Kalyan as her word, the mage is Kadak Lupus. course, we cannot be certain that this is the case at this stage, but if it is, then we must ask ourselves what measures he is likely to take to deal with this. I don't know. Ordinary people are scorned and strong people are envied. Those fancy messages from messages from old family competing on skill? What a joke. As if they've ever won anything with their own two hands. Me, I worked to get where I was. I poured everything I had into it. Sometimes I cry like a baby at how meaningless it was all felt, but it always dry my tears and keep going. And the ones who were born with money and power hated me for it. They called me a worthless dog, they said I wasn't even human, that I was nothing more than livestock. But when 7 people were assembled to serve as humanity's first line of defense, it was different. I was chosen to be one of them, not for the particular reasons. They chose me on my own merit, nothing more. But then it was all over before it even began. I never had a chance. That's right, we were done and there was nothing we could do about it.
You have a most frightful expression on your face, Karak. Are you alright?
Oh, sorry. Nothing to worry about, I promise.
Why are you so quick to apologize? Do you still feel inferior?
Sorry, dude. Look, you can't really tell. Being a walking inferiority complex.
You still feel that, even though you were able to summon me, luxury, jewelry, sell-off?
Sometimes I have no idea what you're saying. So, being able to suddenly use a luxury like jewelry, and if I had a problem with that, you're gonna sell me off, is that right?
I said it's perfect. Well done.
Guess you're right. I'm a first-class master, that's just like your first-class servant.
But aren't you worried about how much magical energy you have?
You know, it's a sore spot for me. It's a good thing that casters don't need much magical energy from their masters, but it still takes a hell of a lot to make a workshop and power noble phantasm.
Don't worry about that, my darling V will handle it.
Probably Ministry V was supposed to be some inimaginable horrible monster.
Oh, he is. Nikolai Gogol came up with him. He's a monster with very heavy eyelids. But Gogol didn't come up with him out of nowhere. He drew inspiration from the fearsome valor of Irish myth. There were other sources of inspiration like Solodivibonio, whose fiery gaze could reduce entirely a town's ash, and Boniek, who is said to have killed no fewer than 40,000 people. He is Romanov's little Easter egg, our secret weapon.
Maybe he wanted to probably human history from the Lostbelts. These powers have always been abnormal, even as over time. Well, for my part, I was also surprised to find you were a mage, in the true sense of the word.
I suppose, now that I've been refined as a heroic spirit, become a mage representing this version of Russia that we are now in. It may have been a pathetic failure in proper human history, but in this Lostbelt, I become a Grand Duchess of Ice. And that's all thanks to you, Karak Lupus.
I'm sorry for the twisted way I summoned you. It's just this was the only way I could make sure you'd be a powerful heroic spirit.
Ah, that was what I said unclear. I was thinking in my own way. I don't mind that I'm irregular. Thanks to that, I cannot even remember my family's faces clearly. I may look like a human on the outside, but inside I'm much more a Yaga. And because you summoned me to this Lostbelt, where even historical records are muddled, all I can remember is that I'm Anastasia, the Grand Duchess, and the shaman who made a pact with V. By the way, I have no attachment whatsoever to proper human history. I'm happy to be a Lostbelt servant. You don't have to worry about anything. You're free to make use of me however you see fit.
I don't believe me. I have any intention to make advantage of that power of yours.
It's thanks to this power that I'm able to kill. I will kill Chaldea so that as long as they don't so that they no longer get in our way. Kill the rebel army who defy Zardom and even the Lostbelt Russia. And then...
Well then, it's far enough, Green Duchess. Remember, he's only sleeping. You gotta keep a lid on that magical energy of yours, too. At least while you're here. He's gonna keep sleeping like a baby. That's how it has to be for the time being.
You're not much fun, are you?
Oh, come off it. You think I don't know that? But I can't afford to lose again. Not this time. I'm gonna see this through to the end, no matter what. If I don't, that's it. I'm dead.
See, then I hope you'll do your best to keep fighting, my master.
I will.
Okay, that's enough narrow-mindedness for one day. I'm going to work on my dress.
Wait, hold on. Why would you need that?
Why, for the ball, of course.
Not many balls around here.
And I'll throw one myself.
You think anyone here still knows how to dance? You gotta throw trust in something they don't. Not in this world. Oh crap, you're not planning to dance with me, are you?
Of course not, don't worry, I'm only joking. I would never put on a ball. And stop looking at me as though I was some sort of monster. The next time you do that, I'll freeze your feet to the floor and make you sleep in the hallway standing up. There, that's exactly what I'm talking about, master. You need to handle my charming insistence that I have my own way much better than you have been.
It's exhausting. She sounds like a handful, Anastasia does.
Morning, Sol. Did you get a good night's sleep? I know a 4-hour nap isn't much, but I bet it's a lot better than sleeping outside. Now here's some coffee and a plate of hard-boiled eggs, or at least rations that resemble them. I ran out of eggs way back, sadly. Still, doesn't this make it feel like a typical morning inside a cramped submarine? Thanks, Da Vinci. No problem. Anyway, now that you're awake, there's something important we have to discuss.
Is this about MASH?
And I see you're still quick on the uptake, and thanks for worrying about her. That's kind of you.
Of course I'd worry about her.
I put Mash back in her old role as navigator. She's on board, naturally. Your heroic spirit summoning went great. Avasborn is proving to be a very dependable servant. He's probably the best one we could have hoped for in this frozen wasteland. You can't fight cold with combat prowess alone, now can you? Even Napoleon ended up losing to Russia's cold, and that was proper human history to boot. But Avasborn's golems can serve as well as and labor. Hell, affecting the war even as we speak. And of course, they make great soldiers too. Since Mash can't fight, there's no reason for her to accompany you, or for you to have to keep her safe.
I don't want to add to her burdens.
Oh, burden, huh? Well, in that regard, you'll just have to wait a little longer. Master. Hi, Mash. Good morning.
Tough choice there.
I'm sorry, Master. I won't be able to help you on the front line anymore.
I'm worried about you, Mash.
But I'm fine. Really, there's nothing wrong with me. Physically, it's just...
You'll be doing a great job guiding me again.
Master. Yes, I will. I promise I'll do my very best to be your navigator.
Sorry, my throat's starting to hurt a bit. Good morning, Mr. Soul. I'm sorry we couldn't let you rest longer. I do hope you've made the most of your warm blanket while you had the opportunity. Now then, back to the task at hand. Our goal remains the same. Find out what has happened here. Thanks to our previous efforts, we now know several things. There's a new race of people called Yak. Ivan the Terrible lives and has ruled the past 500 years, and an endless storm rages the fringes of this world. And there is a mysterious tree. I believe unraveling the mysteries of each of these points will determine our future course of action. To begin with, we need more information on Ivan the Terrible. Fortunately, we have the Rebels' army's trust. At present, we plan to continue working with them in an effort to make our way to him. If at all possible, I would like to help all the Rebel army with their aims as well. Helping them to reach a point where they can defeat Operation T would be ideal. Atlanta may be a favorite Greek hunter, but I fear she would have a hard time facing Ivan the Terrible. Got you summon a more powerful servant, like the King of Heroes, or the King of Conquerors, or the King of Knights. I'm afraid that, in particular requests, our prospects are rather dim at the present moment. Summoning such powerful servants here would be sure to spark all manner of rumors. If the Rebel army hasn't already had such rumors, it's safe to assume that no heroic spirit in this world who could save it single-handedly. Of course, there's always the possibility that they have heard such rumors and simply haven't told us. I suppose it would be too much to hope for. It's not the ideal time for a bold daring plan. At the moment, we need to focus on laying our foundations.
You said it. Okay, Gordolf, time for you to go get back to checking tomorrow's weather forecast.
I can tell you what tomorrow's weather will be. Blizzard. Blizzard and more blizzard.
Later, Mash. See you soon. Alright, good luck, Master.
Leaving without my Mash shoe. Oh my god, to cuddle with at night. Okay, another quartz, another section down.